Okay, we have some information coming in for now. 2 people have died in this rocket attack near the airport. Naveed, we hear that 2 people have succumbed to this attack. This is the 3rd blast right near the Kabul airport. I'd like you to take us through how far is this civilian or residential area where this rocket is struck? How far is it from the airport?
Yeah, this civilian people home is close to the airport, near to the airport. When the terrorists, Daesh, they want to attack for the airport. When I know the American soldiers will say the Daesh want to attack for the airport. This civilian homes is near to the airport because there is a target this home by the attack, and the airplane is not targeted because they have a defend rockets because the airplanes of Kabul, they have a defend rockets, and the rocket is a defend and they targeted the civilian homes.
Naveed, we do know that the Taliban, of course, have managed to access high-end, superior ammunitions, arms and ammunitions, which the United States had handed over to the Afghan army, and somehow they've managed to get a hold of this. But this blast, for the last 3 days, 3 blasts that have taken place, the responsibility has been taken by ISIS-K. Do you think ISIS-K is empowered enough? Do you think they have superior, sophisticated arms and ammunitions to strike the way we see?
The Daesh now they are starting his attack for the Kabul and some other places of the province in Kabul. They want to show our power for the Taliban. Now they are starting our attacks from the airplane for the civilian people, for the some officials of the government of Afghanistan, for the Taliban. They want to show our powers for the Taliban. That's the first time. So after the down it of the Ashraf Ghani government, they want to show our power for the Taliban.
Do you believe that ISIS-K is behind this? ISIS-K is behind this attack as well? Does it appear?
I believe ISIS is ISIS have a hint in this attacks. ISIS. Okay. I believe the ISIS have a hand in this attack.
Okay, so just like the previous 2 strikes, which has killed 183 people in Kabul over the last 3 days. In fact, many of them who were critical at hospitals have succumbed as well. The death toll amounting to 183 at the moment. Those attacks were claimed by ISIS-K, and now you have another attack that struck a civilian, a residential area, where a civilian home, where we believe initial reports suggest that 2 people have succumbed to the blast. In fact, according to Naveed Sultani, our reporter on ground, bringing us the latest, he says that the attack was supposed to be targeted at an aircraft or towards the airport. That was the target, but somehow it seems like the ISIS-K, who may be responsible behind this attack as well, may have missed and somehow missed targeting the airport, and it's managed to strike a civilian home instead. A near miss from the airport area. In fact, the civilian home is very close to the airport, as per Naveed Sultani. Naveed, if you can give us an insight into the civilian area, the residential area, is it a populated area? Are there many people living around the vicinity there? Give us the actual demography of that area right along the airport. All right, we're going to try and patch our reporter on ground. Yet again, India Today is the only channel giving you the latest live reports coming in right from Kabul. You have a rocket that's just hit a residential house near the airport. Remember, you have several countries, including the United States, which is now guarding the airport for the last few weeks, ever since the Taliban took over. They've been warning its civilian citizens that there could be multiple terror strikes. And as much as they feared and warned citizens, exactly those fears became reality. On Thursday, you had twin blasts that killed at least 183 people. In fact, the death toll is only mounting. It's still unfolding. Even as we speak today, you have people critical at hospitals. Many of them are losing the battle. Here you have another blast that's rocked Kabul, where 2 of them have been officially killed. We're hoping to hear some more reports coming in from ground to give us some more clarity on what exactly is the casualty, the number who may have succumbed. Right now, initial reports suggest 2 dead. Remember, this is a 3rd strike, and this nature of attack is a rocket strike as per initial reports. A rocket has hit the residential area around the Kabul airport. Remember, the Kabul airport has hordes of citizens, including Afghan citizens and many other citizens of other countries, in fact, different ethnic groups who are waiting to be evacuated. Thousands of them who have flooded the Kabul airport over the last week. In fact, 2 weeks on, the evacuation process is on in full swing. At a time like this, it appears that the terrorist groups are having a free hand. This is such a lucrative situation and a place for them to strike, to show their powers. That's exactly what our reporter on ground says. Hamid Sultani says ISIS-K is trying to show its strength and might and power to the Taliban and to the rest of the world. The Taliban itself claims, in fact, innocence, says that they have no connection with the ISIS-K and they are not responsible for this kind of violence. But nonetheless, you have Amrullah Saleh, who's constantly connected the ISIS-K with the Taliban, saying it somehow comes from the same group. They're all of the same kind. They are from the same, they origin from the same area, the same place. Taliban saying that they have no connection with the ISIS-K is impossible to believe. Naveed Sultani, still with us, bringing us a live report from ground Kabul. Naveed, any more further details that we know of this 3rd strike, a rocket strike, we believe this time?
Yeah, we have a
is over, of course. It is in both
update information. The source and people say this rocket attacks for the Kabul city. This is the work of ISIS-K, and the sources also say the attack is rocket attack is attached for the civilians people in this room. Five people is this place.
All right, we're going to try and patch our reporter Naveed Sultani there. He's reporting live for us for India Today, which is the only channel on ground bringing you the latest coming in from Afghanistan. The darkest hour, the largest humanitarian crisis that we see today, the modern world witnesses, watching helpless, not being able to help the poor Afghans who are currently desperate to leave the clutches of the Taliban, who are dying to get on an evacuation flight and escape from the country as early as possible, only fearing such kind of terror attacks. But look at the irony. Here you have the Taliban saying that they are innocent, they do not believe in this kind of violence, and then you have an ISIS-K group, which is a hardliner group, all coming in from the same origin or the same breed. The Taliban, the ISIS-K, we believe, are literally one and the same. You have Amrullah Saleh, who's leading the resistance front, saying that Taliban cannot disassociate from the ISIS-K. It appears that they all are somehow one unit. You had the UNHRC who also very categorically mentioned that initial reports suggest that ISIS-K and the Haqqani network, the 2 deadly terrorist groups, have somehow managed to come together to collaborate on the series of terror blasts and strikes that are now being carried out right at the Kabul airport, only to deter and send out a message of threat to the United States as well as to the Taliban. That's what initial reports from the human rights body claims, that ISIS-K and the Haqqani network could be in collaboration to carry out a series of terror strikes right at the Kabul airport. Remember, you still have a few days for August 31st for the evacuation process to formally end. But even before it comes to an end, we're already looking at terror strikes one after the other, only to try and deter, or rather send out a strong message to the world, to the international community, that the ISIS-K, the Haqqani network are strong, they're mighty, they're powerful, and they have arms and ammunition to carry out strikes wherever they want to. It does not seem that the United States counterattack on the ISIS-K planner has really deterred them. You have another strike that's coming in the way of Kabul airport. This time, a rocket strike that's just struck a civilian area, residential area along the Kabul airport. It appears that the target was an aircraft or the airport itself, but somehow it appears this terrorist group has managed to miss its target and the rocket has struck a civilian residential area, for now killing 2. That's the initial report that suggests. Naveed Sultani, back with us. Naveed, please take us through exactly what's the casualty on ground that you hear from your sources. I'd like you to give us an understanding of how many people were present along the Kabul airport just when the blast took place in a nearby residential area.
I'm here you thank you from your watching. There is a lot of people once again go to the airports of Kabul. Now also the people is letting up outside the airplane. They want to travel and they want to leave the countries, and also some American soldiers also leave the country and leave the airport, and some others stay now. They are finish our finish our their soldiers. They also have to live here, and the people is also want to go to some outside of the country. The Daesh was safe for the American soldiers by this source for them. And we want to attack for the airports, and the Americans also confirm for all of the Afghan people don't come to the airport. The Daesh was say they want to attack for the airport. And now in this time the Daesh attack from the unknown area. This not information. This attack is by who is for the airport, and this a rocket attack to target some civilian people home. This place home, this area is a PD 11, and there is some civilian people in one home is killed. This is a one family. There are 5 people, and some others injured. And the Taliban's spokesmen and some others, they don't up to now confirm it this attack, and they are searching for the places when the rocket is shoot for.
All right, we're going to try and patch Naveed Sultani, who's bringing us a ground report exactly by the minute on the kind of casualties, the kind of blast that's taken place along the Kabul airport. Remember, the target was the Kabul airport, but it appears, as per our reporter on ground, that somehow they managed to miss their target, and the rocket has struck a civilian area, a residential building, where we believe that even children could be among those casualties. Horrific incident that's just been reported there, the 3rd blast that's reported in Kabul, right outside the Kabul airport. India Today, the only channel on ground, bringing you those updates right from outside the Kabul airport. We're going to take you through those images after a short break. Be right back. Stay with us.